Hey, what's going on the YouTube's SEO0320 representing JBS. I'm back here again for another review for The Flash, Season 5, Episode 3. The funny thing about this episode is the last few minutes are the most interesting parts about this episode. There were some great moments where Nora finally, overcame her anxiety, her guilt, her worry, her dread, and acted very smartly. Because before, prior to that, she was kind of like guilt-stricken, so she was trying to make these impulsive commitments and moves and thinking that Sherlock Wells would be the worst thing to do this. Interesting, Tom Cavanaugh back is another Wells. I like this Wells just because he's a little bit quick-witted and witty, but it does kind of, I feel like it's just like a running gag. Honestly, I'd prefer Tom Cavanaugh to just come back as a Reverse Flash and just be done with it. I really would just prefer him just to come back as a Reverse Flash. Your boy Cisco. The thing about this episode with Cisco, I was worried that they were gonna kill Cisco, but at the same time, I was like, they're not really doing much with Cisco. Cisco for the past 2 episodes has just been worried and sad, and it's like they don't really utilize him as best they really can. Up until the moment, I was like, man, they killed Cisco. I was starting to feel it. And your boy Grant Gustin did a good job acting that moment as well. The effects was pretty good in this episode. You get to see who Cicada really is, what he's trying to fight for. It seems like it's a gifted kind of situation where some metahuman did something against his daughter, and that's how she's in the state, and so he's trying to exact his revenge by any means necessary. Which that seems like the situation. The thing that I had an issue with this episode is that your boy Joe been tortured the whole episode. And nobody was like, Joe, do you need to go to the hospital? Joe, are you okay? Joe, I'm sorry that it had to come to that. You know what I'm saying? Even Cecile, Joe and Cecile, got put in a compromised situation. But nobody said anything. So I thought that was really strange. But the other thing that I'm going to call back, and I might end up being wrong, but just remember this moment when I say it. What if the Reverse Flash is the one that tempted Nora with the perspective that if you go back to this precise moment and you're fast enough to stop it, you can go and see your dad and stop this from happening? Because I don't even know if it was so much like she did that to see her dad, much as she did that to keep her dad alive. And I feel like the only person that would make sense, that would have the willingness to mess up the timeline will be the Reverse Flash. Because he did something similar when, I forget what episode was it last season, but it was something he had said. It was kind of just like, oh, well, you've messed up the timeline, but I've, had to counter correct all these different things. And not just that, the Reverse Flash comes from the future. So that's my thought. I think that he's the person that put Nora on this path, not necessarily deploying her, but it's kind of just like, this is the only way you'll be able to get your dad, kind of thing. And if Barry and Iris knew that, they would definitely be against it. So we'll see what ends up happening. I thought that was the most interesting part of the episode. The Caitlyn stuff with Elongated Man part was, I used Tolliver as an actor and as a character. Caitlyn stuff just kind of going a little slow. I was like, as soon as she saw the map in the folder, I was like, why would your dad just keep that there? You know what I'm saying? That's obviously a clue. But anyway, I gotta go. Review number, I give it 7.5 out of 10. This is decent. Keep it locked. JBS, we ain't gonna stop. It's Black Lightning time. Peace, guys.